Can I also, off of you saying that we have enough evidence, and I do believe that, but I've experienced also Muslim talking to me saying, but there's enough evidence for the Quran being true.
Yeah.
And that there's enough historical and physical evidence in here that's enough for them.
Yeah.
How do you, with we saying there's enough and them saying there's enough.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of Quran, it's very different than when we compare that to the Bible, to Christianity. For example, the Bible was written in 3 different languages, Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek. The Quran was written in just one language, which is Arabic. The Bible was written by 40 different authors, 9 of them in the New Testament and 31 in the Old Testament. Of course, Hebrew has a big debate on who wrote it. But the Quran was written just by one person. This was written the Quran was written on the 7th century AD. The Bible was written on almost over 1600 years. So when we compare evidence by evidence, we have all these kind of manuscripts that we can go back to this. And this is one of the questions I think we received that we're gonna talk in detail about. But again, if we are genuine to look at the evidence and really make a decision based on the findings that we find, we will find a big difference between the Quran and the Bible, or Buddhism and the Bible, or any other religion compared to the Bible and Christianity. As I said, we have to leave the freedom to people to decide on their own. And if we're genuine enough, as I said before, it's not a problem of looking for the evidence, because if we're genuine enough, no, we have enough evidence that the Bible is true. It's only salvation. The salvation is only through Christ, what he did on the cross. We have enough evidence on the death of Christ, on the resurrection of Christ. If this is true, then we really have to examine this kind of evidence. Religions by definition are different, and it's kind of exclusive somehow, because if we're seeing Christianity is the only way to God, this is wrong. We're not talking about Christianity, we're talking about Jesus. Jesus is the only truth and the only way for salvation. So we're not telling people about the religion. So I'm not comparing Christianity with Islam or Hinduism or Buddhism. It's Christ. It's Jesus that makes the difference. And the question again, can we have a personal relationship with God through Islam, through Buddhism? And can we have a personal relationship with God through Christianity? When you compare these 2 evidences, and he said here, it's only by Christ, here you have to do work and merits and performance, and you achieve, and your good deeds have to surpass your bad deeds, and the karma concept, and all these kind of things. Even in Buddhism, for example, they don't have that kind of salvation concept. There is no life after this life. That's it. When you die here, that's it. Complete difference between all these religions and Christianity, though we're not talking about Christianity more than sharing Christ. Jesus is what makes the whole thing different, because it gives that guarantee, one more time, about the forgiveness of sins here and now, once I believe on what he did on the cross, that I can't do anything on my own. It's him who did it all to redeem me back to him, and anyone believes in him shouldn't perish. We have enough evidence. We can say whatever we want to say about other findings or evidence that we have, or you hear that from your friends, Muslims, or any other religions. You have just to be genuine and truthful. If you really find some evidence in these, okay, good luck, go ahead. But you be responsible for this decision that you made. We know as a fact that the evidence for the truth salvation, the only one is Jesus. And that makes the whole thing different. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Good?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.